Good morning. This is Robert Goodman here on Positive Stroke, Staying Clean. And we're going to talk about you can do this. We're going to talk about you can do this. And what do I mean by you can do this? Well, let me start. I was in my active addiction and I was doing a scam and I got caught in the state of Arizona. And I went to court. They set a bail. I went back to California. And then I got caught up in California. And all of a sudden now Arizona wanted me. In this process, I lost everything. And being 50 plus, you're like, wow, I mean, you're 50, like, wow, man, what you gonna, man, oh man, this is gonna be a job. But I knew that I had to start completely over after I did my time. And I had to get on my grind. And it's hard in the beginning, it was really hard because I had to accept that my way of life and thinking was definitely not working. That the decisions I made landed me to commit crimes and to get caught and go to jail. That my best thinking about solving the problem was doing it the wrong way. And now I'm reaping the benefits of my actions. So I gave it a shot called recovery. Now, how I got to recovery, I was in prison and I talked to a couple of people and they said, well, you can get out early. First, the social worker in prison let me know that I'm eligible to get released 90 days before my time. All I have to do is, rely a place to stay. So I was talking to a few people and they told me about this place called TLC in Arizona. Transitional Community Livings work program. And I wrote there and they said I was accepted. And I gave the information to my social worker. They processed me out 90 days early. And then I get there and they have no record of me. They have no record of Robert Goodman contacting them. I showed them the letter that I received. So the manager said, well, you're going to have to sleep on the floor. And I slept on the floor. I believe it was for 1 or 2 nights. Then I got a bed. And there was a lot of rules and regulations to follow. But see, I was determined because, I was at rock bottom. I lost everything, my lifestyle, everything. Everything was gone. Family member that I was staying with, well, she was family because we was in a relationship. She didn't take her medication for high blood pressure, and high blood pressure killed her. I got that news while I was in in prison. And I was told that she was never the same after I got locked up. And I blame myself because I supplied the goodies so she can also get high too. So I feel that I helped her along the way in her own hell by giving her some cocaine. And that guilt wears on me at times. But also recovery taught me that they made a decision to put that into their own bodies, even though they was addicted. They was following their choice, their direction, their way. Just like you was solving yours, your way, in your direction that you was going. And that worked. But the point I'm trying to make is that I went through all that. I got on my grind. I got on my grind. I didn't hesitate. The situation come up or thing. The first thing I would say, Robert, if you was doing the right thing, you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in right now. Robert, they didn't steal that money from you. If you wasn't in a situation, you put yourself here. It's your fault. Every situation that happened, I blamed it on myself for allowing me to be in the situation that I'm in to cause these things to be able to happen, which gave me the gumption and the zeal to go forward. So I kept going forward. Trial and error, but I still kept going forward. Trial and error, I still kept going forward. You can do this. You can. So you can do this. And it's a shame how people put this stigma on you that you can't do it or you're going to go back to the same way. Where's the positivity? Where's the help? Where's the compassion for another human being? Where's the concern about people making it in recovery? I used to hear these stories that you're going to have to get 2 suits, one for funerals and one to go to weddings. He said, but you'll go to more funerals than you go to weddings. And I believe when we put a negative stigma on things, we're causing the situation to fail before we even try. We're putting in people's heads that you can't do this because most people don't make it. So you don't have a chance of making it. That's the wrong way to look at things. Because you can. You can make it. There are so many treatments nowadays for addiction. And all treatments work with somebody. Each treatment that's out here has saved somebody. So we don't have the right to say this one's better than the other one. This one is not good. This is not going to work. We're all different people. We all experience life in a different way. We had the way we was brought up. One was brought up with one parent, some brought up with 2 parents, some brought up by the system, somebody brought up by the streets. So we all look at life differently. That's why some things work for some people and some things work for other people. Plus, our bodies are different. We all run basically the same way, but our system is different because of our genes. So one way does not necessarily mean it's good for everybody else. But you can do this. How can you do this? How can you win on addiction? How can you move forward with your life? What can you do? To find out what works for you. What works for you? I had to find out what works for me. I had to. That's the only way I stay clean and sober, by paying attention to myself. Do you pay attention to yourself? Do you pay attention to the things that make you feel a certain way and why you feel that way? Do you understand the things that you're good in and things that you're not good in? Do you understand the things that you're vulnerable in and the things that you're not vulnerable in? But you can do this if you work on self. It's that simple. They even have a drug that block the receptors in your brain that if you're an alcoholic, after you take this drug, an hour later, you drink some alcohol and it changes the way you look at the situation in your mind, how it affects you. You don't get the reward system like you did because this drug blocks your reward system. So you understand that it's nothing big, it's nothing major, it's nothing great. And that works for some people. People have tried that and it worked for them. And they live a fantastic life. The point I'm trying to make is each person needs to find out what works for them to stay clean and sober. But here's the thing. But to make the program work, if we share our ups and downs with each other that are in active addiction or in recovery, we can help each other find their way to live their best life, to understand why they are addicted in the first place and what caused them to start in the first place. To understand yourself. See, the more you understand yourself, the better your life is, because you could truly look at yourself in the proper perspective. And what people say and think about you won't hold no weight. You won't believe what they say because you're paying attention to yourself, your actions and your deeds, how you think, how you react to situations, how you feel about things that happen. You're understanding who the hell you are. So people just can't throw things at you, make you feel like you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Or playing your sympathy or playing your past of the things that have happened to you in your active addiction or the mistakes that you've made. The more you learn about yourself, the more you can protect yourself from outside forces. Not only addiction, but life in general. I'll just give you an example. Now, if a young girl, her mother and father was together, mom and daddy got a divorce, and daddy just disappeared and have no contact with the daughter at all, no more. the daughter's going to have daddy issues. Why? Because she feels her father has abandoned her from her situation, abandoned her, left her. She may feel like it's her fault that they got the divorce. Or she may feel hatred towards her father for leaving her mother in pain and in misery and struggling. It may cause her to treat men in a different manner, in a negative way. Or it may treat men as the desire to please them so they won't leave them. They may have a form of insecurity behind that situation. The point I'm trying to make right now is we all are fallible people because we have had traumatic situations happen to us in our lives, each and every one of us, whether we want to admit that or not. And it has affected us to cause us to feel and act a certain way. So nobody is without issues in this world. And that's the truth, because we're all imperfect and we all make mistakes. And by us all making mistakes is our mistakes affect others, which causes problems to them. So we need to understand that we can do good. We can move forward. We can change our behavior, but we have to pay attention to our actions, our own actions. Our own actions got me into active addiction. My own actions of dealing with trauma and pain caused me to act a certain way, to be a certain way, because I never healed from the situation in the first place. Have you healed from your situation? Have you addressed it? Have you cleaned the wreckage of your past? The things that you don't want nobody else to know how you feel about or what you're going through. The things that you're holding close, dear to your heart, that's painful, that you're ashamed of. Have you moved on? Have you worked through these things? We all have issues because we all have had trauma in our lives, whether it's good or bad. But mostly, the good can lead you down to a crazy road too, because it can lead you up to doing bad. But that's the point. We have to pay attention to ourselves and our actions. But you can do this. Don't let the statistics about the recovery program cause you to don't give it a try. I'm going to leave with this story. When I got introduced to recovery, and I was consuming an ounce of cocaine in a 24-hour period for 18 months straight. After that, I had multiple heart attacks. I called 911 on a payphone. I'll never forget it. Pain was running down my arm. I didn't know what was happening to me. Next thing you know, I was in an ambulance. They said I died and came back about 6 or 7 times. I was malnutrition. I was under 90 pounds, soaking wet. Yeah. I got myself together after that, and I was working at the Catholic diocese. They had a program for people at recovery that you could stay there and get yourself together, and then you get passes out and you do urine tests and all that. And I got elected to. They trusted me to do this, and I became friends with a gentleman in there. We became close. He asked for a pass, I gave it to him, and he went to see his wife. And about 5 hours later, his wife came in and she says, "I can't even come. I don't know where he's at. Did he?" No. I went looking for him. When I found him, I couldn't even recognize the man that was at the house just hours ago. And I cried. And I said to myself, you can't beat addiction. What's the use? And I went out and got high. I must have smoked about 10 dubs at the reservoir from light until it got dark. And then I got spooked for all the noises of the animals, and I got my ass up out of there. I let the statistics, I let the situation of someone relapsing dictate to me that you can't stop, causing me to believe a lie. And I gave up. But as I'm in recovery now, I know you can do this. Statistics has nothing to do. Recovery is a personal thing. It's up to you to do the work. It's up to you to clean the wreckage of your past. It's up to you to touch and deal with them situations that hurt you so painfully that you need to let go and give it to a power greater than you so you can be restored to sanity. You need to forgive that person and forgive yourself for the actions that you've done and let it go. And that's the only way them things in the past can disappear and be put to bed. Now, if you don't do that, then the things that happened to you in the past that are painful affects your decision making in the present. If you don't get rid of the wreckage of your past, it affects your decision that you make each and every day. That's why I work on myself, because if I don't, I will make a bad decision for Robert. But I can do this, stay clean and sober, if I keep the focus on myself. You can do this if you keep the focus on yourself. You have a great and wonderful day.